Welcome back to the Act Two podcast, a podcast for the real-life working screenwriter. I'm Tasha Hugh.
And I am Josh Hallman.
And as a reminder, we are Act Two, a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter. This podcast is just one of the many things that we do. So thank you for joining us here. Of course, please remember to subscribe.
Yeah.
I should just skip this part. I don't
You know
think
what?
My mouth is ready.
It's great. I pulled you from a workout. I was like, Tasha, we have to record. I have a curveball that was sent to me. I have to do a pitch right after this.
Yeah. So I'm disgusting and sweaty, and Josh has very important things to do after this. So let's just hop into like this week in writing.
Let's do it.
This week in writing.
I just want to say that as a writer, you're kind of at the whim of certain people at certain times. I'm just bringing up this story. So meetings were getting moved for something that I'm working on. And then I get a call from someone who's like, hey, do you want to be on this call? We really need you to kind of like pitch this, like these story beats, which I thought this call was going to happen like at some other point in time. But due to scheduling of 50 different people, I was like, I got this. I can make it. This was yesterday, Tasha. And now I'm jumping on a call afterward on a Zoom to like pitch an actress some story beats and like character stuff. And
Can I ask a question about your process here?
Mm-hmm.
Did you craft a script to pitch to her, or is it all in your head?
No, I have some bullet points. This has been kind of like the good news is I've had time. I've kind of been stewing on this. I'm like, okay, I know where this can go. And I talked to someone else about it, and we were like kind of, we were just spitballing. So I'm not like running blind into this thing.
Do you have like an intro that's specific to trying to get this actress on board, or to like speak to an actress specifically?
A little bit.
Yes, you have to, right? About like why her character is awesome, and not just the story.
I have all of that.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall, and or you could record it. But if you record it, it says to everyone on the Zoom, record it.
Yeah, record. I'm like, oh, sorry, this is for Tasha.
I didn't mean to.
I should have a camera on me. You could probably, I wonder if you could see in someone's facial expressions, like the moment I realize I'm like, oh, I'm about to bullshit now.
Yes, I bet you could. I bet if an AI was scanning you, it'd be like right now.
Yeah, that's the bullshit meter. Anyway, it happened, and I was just bringing that up. It's not really this. It is a this week.
It's absolutely this week in writing, and it dovetails into it. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I also have a similar pitch, but to an author, which is a different experience, but the same. Where I wrote a pitch treatment, essentially a treatment of a movie, because I didn't want to pitch this movie to this producer. Instead, it came to me as writing. So I sent them this pitch treatment of what the movie could be based on this book, and they were like, great, now you're going to go pitch to the author. And I was like, that feels like an extra step. Can't we just give this to her? But here I am. Tomorrow I'm going to be pitching to this author, and yeah, like the first bit is about how much I love the book, what I love about it, and something that this producer said, which is really, really interesting, which I told you, Josh, as soon as he said it to me, because I loved it so much. This is a very seasoned producer, and he said, I prefer my pitches to be like heavy on Act 1, like detailed Act 1, and then like 5 minutes to get through Act 2 and 3. Because if you set up a movie well enough, you don't need the other shit. You just need to say, like, basically this is what Act 2 is. It's a murder mystery. And basically this is how it wraps up.
I've always kind of adhered to this idea that if you can just get people invested right off the bat, you can pretty much get them invested throughout the rest of time. And I've doubted myself along the way, Tasha. I've been like, I might be wrong. But so when I hear this,
yeah,
I'm back.
Vindication.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's great. That's cool. Well, good luck to both of us.
Yeah, we're going to crush it, obviously.
Obviously. I have another this week in writing, and then we can hop into our main topic, which is I went to a video game mixer last night, which I hate mixers. I hate socializing. Paul made me do it. A friend of mine invited me to go with her, so I was like, because I got the invite as well, and I was like, nope, trash. And then this friend invited me, and I was like, okay, fine. And it was a lot of people crammed in a small room, this fancy place downtown. And my this week in writing is that Josh, you know me. I just started sweating. It was so hot in there. There were no cracked windows, there was no AC, just a crush of people. I was just sweating profusely. And everyone was like, "Oh man, it's so hot." But everyone like looked fine. But I was
Oh,
just like
yeah.
dripping.
I hate
And like
that.
I had to like take my little jacket off and then just start like wiping my face with my jacket. And I'm telling this story not to embarrass myself because at this point in my life, like this is just what I do. I can't stop it. It's a genetic thing. But to also say that like it didn't ruin the experience of being there. Meaning like people weren't like, ew, Tasha is disgusting. I'm not gonna talk to her. Or I mean maybe it'll be memorable. It'll be like, oh yeah, that was the girl who sweat a lot. But like if people would come in to hug me and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sweaty, and they're like, that's okay, it's so hot in here, right? So like we all had like for some people this is like their worst nightmare, right? To go into a networking event and like something like this happens. And
Yeah.
I just want to my this week in writing is like it's not the end of the world, it's fine.
There's nothing worse than a communal sweat box that you have to attend.
And pretend like you're not.
Yeah,
Like
like,
what?
oh my God. I hate that. I'd probably leave.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I've had enough. By the way,
Yeah.
video game mixer. Were there any video games being played?
No, which feels like if I had designed this mixer, there
Yeah.
would just be a wall of video games. for people to
100%.
play.
Like all different eras of video games.
No, I know. And instead it was schmoozing. And I mean, I don't know. It was fine. I got to meet new people and, did my Josh Irish goodbye, which is Paul always tells me not to do.
Oh, dude, you have to do it.
It's the best.
Yeah, there's nothing better. I walk into a place and I wonder how I'm going to sneak out in 2 hours.
Yeah, you just like clock the exits, clock kind of the way out.
Yeah, that's the way to go. But if you can do one of these in the future, you should definitely have video games there.
Yes. If I were doing it, I would
Yeah,
do
it's like,
that.
It's like the wizard.
Yeah. Okay. You got places to go, pitches to perform. Let's get into our main topic.
Well, wait a minute. Happy Tomb Raider release.
Happy Tomb Raider
It is in the
release.
world, but before we get into that, the Blacklist came out last week.
Yes.
Were you on it this year?
No.
Yeah, neither was I. So we looked over. I don't know how in depth you looked at this Blacklist list, and I just want to talk about it because, first of all, congratulations to everyone. It's still
Yes.
it's still a thing. Number two, I was thinking like there used to be more lists. There are just no lists except for the
Why
Blacklist.
is that? Because I think everyone loved the lists. And as I ask this question, I'm going to answer it. I think people I've talked to have said it's just so hard to run them. It's
Yeah.
so much work that Franklin Leonard has a team behind him to help him with this. So
Yeah. And there was the up and coming or the Young and Hungry list, and then that was hosted by the tracking board which no longer exists. And I think a lot of these lists were run by places that are just defunct. So
yeah.
we've been saying this for years. I don't know what it would be, but the Act 2 list. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
waiting for us.
No, it's in the works in the planning stages.
Okay. Do you have any gut reactions, any thoughts about the Blacklist? I can give you a couple of mine if you'd like.
Please go. You're sort of my blacklist guru.
Okay. Number one, there seems like there were a lot of scripts on it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. You know, when you're scrolling through and you're reading the log lines and you're reading the writers and this, and I was like, this is like, I've been scrolling for like 15 minutes, which is great. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. That's number one. Number two, and I was messaging with Dave about this, Dave Levinson.
Friend of the podcast.
There seems to be like a lot of erotic thrillers. There was a couple like, hey, this couple brings a person into their bedroom, which is fine. I'm just trying to clock the trends. Number three, absent from the list, action comedies. Not a fan. Where were the action comedies? I don't know. I didn't see them. If I missed it, if it was on there. I'm sure there's one or two.
There were a lot or some last year, if I recall.
It feels like it.
And again, to like clock the trend. Interesting.
And then lastly, I just wanted to say two that stuck out to me that I feel like I'm going to read immediately, and I wish I had come up with.
Go on.
Okay. Number one. It's called Geezers by Richard Martin. The logline. After surviving a prom night massacre over 50 years ago, Alice's golden years are interrupted by a copycat killer terrorizing her small retirement community.
Oh my God. I love that.
Sounds awesome, right?
Yes.
And there were no reps for this guy. There was no no information, so I hope someone meets it. Makes this movie. Number two, With the Eighth Pick by Alex Sohn and Gavin Johansson. In the 1996 NBA draft, New Jersey Nets GM John Nash fights against his own organization and wants to take an untested high schooler named Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Looks like Star Thrower's making that. I'm imagining it's in the vein of Air.
Yeah.
But that sounds awesome to me. That's it. Those were the two that really stuck out to me. I'm gonna look at the list again, but when I was reading,
I
was
feel
like,
like there's one that you've missed.
shit. There's so many. Tell me.
Alts by Seth Worley.
Listen, that's my freaking guy. I left him off because I want him to come on the podcast, and I'm just stubborn.
I mean, I think it's a great fit. This logline of this script Alts is after years of consequence-free time travel, a guy, discovers his reckless behavior has created dozens of alternate versions of himself who all want him dead.
I left that one off. My bad.
Have you read that one yet?
No, but this guy's the same guy who made the movie Sketch, which I love this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did.
Way under the radar. It's a fantastic movie. It's kind of got an Amblin vibe. You can rent it, you can watch it. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. So I love that script, and I love his other stuff, so I'm sure it's great.
You know what's interesting is there are a couple pirate movies on this list. I don't know if you noticed that.
That's the other one, the pirate one. That's a good one as well, where it's like Jack Sparrow gets stranded on an island, and then like some kraken or something is there to fight him.
And then another one is by Will Dunn called The Pirate. On the storm-tossed seas of the 18th century, a fisherman infiltrates a murderous pirate warship. And, that's an expensive movie.
Yeah.
But also very small and character-driven. Same with the other one that you just mentioned, being marooned on an island against a creature. So super interesting. There's definitely an interesting mix. I do feel like those erotic thrillers have done really well for lots of people because they are very cheap to make. There are not a lot of locations, right? Most of them take place in a house, maybe an office, like 3 places. And it does really well and does really well over time, I think. Says Tasha without knowing any numbers whatsoever, but just has a gut feeling.
No, for sure. We're right.
Yeah.
Those are my Blacklist thoughts.
Yeah, Blacklist. One day I'll be on it, I guess. Like, it's not like, I think it's no longer like a huge goal of mine, except that I think my ego somewhere in the back is like, it is my number one goal. It is the only thing I want in life.
100%. Yeah. We should be on the Blacklist. Let's just make it happen next year.
Done.
We should have made the push for it this year. The script.
It's always next year.
Yeah. You want to talk about Tomb Raider?
Let's talk about Tomb Raider, you guys. It is out, finally. I've been working on this thing for 5 years, and season 2 is finally out.
Wait, it's been 5 years?
5 years!
Dude, that's a long time.
It's a long time. This is why I tell people when they start to put pitches together for TV shows and movies too, but movies can often be very much shorter. You gotta love it or you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
Because it's so much work for so long that if you just did this to get a job, you're gonna have a rough time.
Can I ask what took the longest and what was not, what was the shortest aspect of it? Like, for instance, did you write for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden it's like, well, now for the next 5 years, we're going to have to make this?
I guess technically the writing takes the least amount of time.
Yeah.
The writing is 10 weeks. It was very short to do 2 seasons, I remember that, and we just went back to back. There was no break between writing season 1 and writing season 2, and then the rest is, character design, layouts, background design, and then animatics, and then, the all the different drafts of the animatics, and then it goes overseas to animation, and then it comes back, and now we're doing, the sort of animated takes, and the various drafts of those, and then all the artists having to fix all the things that are wrong from the notes or from overseas animation, and like that's what takes the bulk of time, which I am not the artist doing those things, so I'm not as tired as they are because the bulk of my work happened early, but I'm in on all those edit reviews, right? I'm like doing all the notes, I'm watching all the things, watching it multiple times, watching it for sound, watching it for art, watching it for timing, watching all the things, and so giving notes all the time throughout that whole 5-year process. And now here we are. A labor of love, that's what they mean.
It's just like I just remember feelings of like talking about this. I have no recollection of you working on Tomb Raider. It's the
Yeah, this was
weirdest thing.
another project that I just didn't submit to you guys, right? Because again, TV happens
Yeah.
so fast. It's not like I can get writers group notes on TV episodes. It's like I hired originally they were like, Tasha, this is 22-minute animation, and historically precedent has been that one person writes all of it. And then maybe you freelance an episode, which means that I would create all of the story for every single episode of both seasons by myself, just me in my room. And then when I created all the outlines for every episode, I would like give that outline to Josh to say, all right, I got to write episodes 1 through 5. Will you please write episode 6 while I'm doing that? And here's the outline. All you have to do is follow the outline.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. And part of me was like, yeah, this is a challenge and I want to take it because ambition. And then the practical part was like, no, Tasha, you need someone to bounce ideas off of because your ideas aren't going to be the best one in the room. It's going to need someone to like challenge them and come up with their unique perspective on things until we get at the best idea. So I asked for another writer and they said, okay, fine. And then I hired a writer's assistant who was also technically a writer because they were like at the cusp of becoming a writer themselves in a room. And so he basically Troy Dangerfield is his name, and he was our assistant on The Witcher, and then has since gone on to write on The Witcher, and he's fantastic. So I kind of like cheated by having
Mm-hmm.
2 writers in the room, and together we worked on season 1 and season 2 back to back.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember season 1, and I remember you working on season 1 more than I remember season 2. Like
Yeah.
when you said, "Hey, Tomb Raider season 2 came out," and this just happened with us the other day on a text. You're like, "It's coming out," and I was like, "Wait, what? When is it coming out?" It's done?
I know. It's weird. I don't know. I think cuz there were like some more issues on season 1, like we had to redo the pilot entirely, and so I feel like I was probably talking to you about it a lot more. And then season 2 was a bit more, I don't know, streamlined because I'd like done it before, right?
Yeah.
I'd done like a season already, and so season 2 was a bit easier.
I know Netflix is your partner,
Mhm.
and I won't let you say anything about it, but you know what would have been nice
Yeah.
is like a little heads up that Tomb
Yeah.
Raider was coming out. Like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe like 10% of effort to promote the show.
No, that would have been great. This is kind of an interesting topic as a writer, and it's I think it's worth talking about or just like understanding that in this business, because it is a business, if your show doesn't create the numbers that are required to justify a particular marketing budget, like season 1, I don't think did well enough for Netflix to say, well, here's a whole pot of money to market season 2, because it just doesn't make sense with their numbers, right? Based on the amount of people who were drawn to season 1 on Netflix, like the pot of money sort of is not set aside for something so small, right? They're going to put it into, I don't know, red 1, 2, red 2, whatever. Like they're going to put it into things that people like really saw with the with vigor. which I understand from a business perspective. But from our perspective, it's like, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot again. Like what? Like that doesn't. So I mean, I get it. That's part of this business, right? And when you compare it to like the Mighty Nine, which is getting a huge marketing push, like every week you're seeing stuff, and as soon as you click on anything, it's now in your algorithm, and you almost like can't escape it. It's because it's the first season, there's more faith in it, there's numbers to support that show will do well, so therefore let's pump money into it so it can do even better. And that's just like the process. That's just the world we're in. And when I I found myself when I like complain about it or anything to sort of people who are behind the scenes, producers or whatever, they kind of shrug too. They're just like, yeah, I mean, what can you do? Like those
Yeah.
are the numbers.
Yeah, it's tricky. As you were saying that, I almost wonder if this lends to why it's so important. I can't even believe I'm about to say this for writers and directors and showrunners and just creators in general to actually have their own social presence because it allows you to market the film and it's silly because it's like free marketing for a company that should be marketing, but also for your products, So
I mean, it's why a lot of people hire publicists, right?
yeah,
As their movie or show is coming out, they don't want to just depend on Netflix or just depend on Universal or whoever it is. They want their publicist will get them interviews at places. They will get them on podcasts. They will,
yeah.
and I guess I should have done that.
Nah, we got the Act Two podcast.
We're good. We're good. Uh, I actually thought about it in season one as I was kind of seeing how Netflix was marketing it. I was like, man, I feel like they're missing certain segments of the population that might be really interested in this.
hmm
And I don't know if you remember me talking to you about it, but like thinking about publicists and then like but it comes out of your own pocket, and I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
if does it feel worth it? I don't know. So maybe I should have fought harder for season 2, but hopefully maybe people will see it and it'll be a runaway hit.
Can we can we discuss real quick what season 2, can you give us the broad overview of what's going on?
Yes.
Or are we
Yeah,
spoiling things?
I can do that.
It's out there. It's in the world.
It's in the world.
We're
Yeah.
just gonna
And you
excite
can
people.
binge it as it's not a weekly drop. Yeah, when we sat down for season 2 after season 1 was done, we the writers came our research or like our homework for the first week was to come to the room every day with new ideas of what season 2 could even be about, because with Tomb Raider with Lara Croft, part of it is the adventure, like what countries do we want to go to, what mythologies do we want to explore, what is that like history archaeology thing that we want to dive into, what's interesting to us. And so we originally were going to do something with Native American mythology and religion, and so interesting because I feel like we never get to see that on screen, and Laura has never really dove into that world. So there was this push and pull of like, well, it's better to sort of represent this culture on screen than it is to not do it because I don't feel qualified to do it. But the more we started talking about it, the more I realized like we couldn't do justice to that story. There were no Native Americans in our room, and it was something that I wanted to really do well. And so we sort of we put that one to the side. Maybe in the future, that's something that we'll do, and hire native writers to help us with that. So instead, we went with Orisha mythology, which is in kind of West Africa, and it was so interesting because I knew nothing about it before Troy actually brought in this idea of doing Orisha, and so Lara goes to Africa, and it's so cool because I also don't think we've been there really in the Tomb Raider games before, and particularly, I mean, especially in this way, like we've been to Egypt, but like West Africa and the Yoruba culture, we have not. And the more we research the Yoruba culture, and the more we realize like kind of this diaspora that had happened where people from West Africa were, of course, during the slave trade, just they found themselves everywhere in the world, and they brought their Yoruba culture with them, which allowed this kind of international, like road trip kind of show that is what you would expect from Tomb Raider. She goes to all kinds of different locations in her adventures, and so that kind of allowed us to do that as well. And yeah, so that was like the mythology we wanted to dig into, and then the story we wanted to dig into was um Lara Croft is really good at doing things by herself because she's a video game character. That's what she does. Um, and we talked a lot about how, in modern times, seeing Lara Croft go to this, rich white British woman going to other cultures and taking their things or helping them when they can't help themselves felt very problematic. And so this story is actually about Lara learning to work with a team, learning that she doesn't always have all the answers, especially when she goes into someone else's world and culture, and that asking for help from people who are from that culture is actually extremely valuable. And so kind of the lesson of season 1 was, okay, I don't have to be by myself all the time. And the lesson of season 2 is like, okay, now that I know that, what does that look like for me? And that became the character story
Yeah.
of season 2.
I was going to say, it sounds like you figured out a perfect way to weave in character and plot. Like that, that's the perfect marriage of I need help, and then she's this woman who's this loner who just rejected help, and now she's going into various cultures and asking for help.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Damn.
And I got to do a heist, which is always you remember the heist,
I do
right?
remember the heist.
Because
the heist
we
is what I
talked about this.
heist is what I do remember.
Because that was a very hard episode to write, so I feel like I was constantly asking you for
Heists are
help.
tough. Heists are so hard that it was just like, yeah, we've talked about this often to do like a heist episode, I think, of like how to write a heist, but
yeah, Tomb Raider heist episode. It's pretty fun. I'm excited for you to see it.
You know what? As you were saying this, I was just reminded because while you were talking, I was like, wow, it's great that Tasha can throw in some of these really big themes into an animated show and have a lot of fun with this character that she loves. And then I went to, and I messaged you this, I was watching Mighty Nine off to the side of my daughter who was watching something else. We won't get into that again. And she did overhear some things, and she actually said to me, "Are you watching Lara Croft?" And she doesn't call it Tomb Raider. And I was like, no, but why did you say that? Because I was watching a fight scene from Mighty Nine. And so I don't know how she knew it, but she was like, because I didn't say what I was watching. Like,
right.
I wasn't like,
she's
hey,
like, this sounds like Tasha.
It does. And I was going somewhere with this that I've forgotten, but that was it. I've been meaning to say that she like connected the Tasha verse while I was watching it off to the side. That's all.
That's funny.
Damn.
I like that.
But is there a season 3, by the way?
Of Tomb Raider or Mighty Nine?
Tomb Raider.
There will be a season 3 if people watch the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'm glad we're talking about this then, because all good stories like Back to the Future, The Godfather, although arguably both part 3 are not the best in the series, they deserve a trilogy.
They deserve a trilogy. There's so much more story to tell. So it'd be really fun, to tell it. But, maybe people don't want to hear it, so they won't go watch it. But can I segue really quick off of Tomb Raider before I forget? There is in the pilot of the Mighty Nine. I'm ashamed of Joshua Hallman right now, but there is an allusion to, a reference to, an homage to one of my favorite movies, one of Josh's favorite movies of all time, and he missed it.
I gave up.
And I feel like it's so obvious.
You know what? We need to talk about this more often, because I want you to think of some of the Easter eggs. And I don't know. We need to get someone who can find some of these. Now that we've talked about this and it's in the world, and I would love to know if other people are catching this, because I was actively looking, by the way. Like, I didn't even watch the episode. I was watching for a reference, like, the first time I watched it, just because
honestly, the real question is, what is the reference in episode 1? And what is the reference in episode 4? Knowing, listeners, what our favorite movies are. Can you spot the reference? It's like
This
a
is
highlighter magazine.
That's
Is
a
that what they're
tough one.
called?
Oh yeah, highlights. Yeah, awesome.
That's all. Sorry to segue.
That's no segue. I feel ashamed. I didn't even ask you anymore because I was almost too ashamed.
You should be ashamed.
Yeah.
I wrote them thinking of you, and you didn't even notice. You
I
didn't even notice
looked.
that I got my hair cut or did my nails. Just don't even look at me anymore.
I was looking. I saw other things. I watched the fight sequence. I was like, this is an incredible fight sequence. And then I was like, fuck, the reference. I don't know where it is. I've seen the first episode like 2.5 times because I looked for the reference.
I feel like if someone can find the reference, we'll send you a gift.
A huge gift. Merry Christmas.
Send
from
you
the Act
an
2
Act
podcast.
2 gift if you could find the reference in episode 1 and in episode 4 of one of Tasha and Josh's favorite movies. They're two different movies, by the way, but there's Easter eggs.
Which I noticeably didn't see.
Do you even love these movies, Joshua? I don't know. I don't know now.
I don't know
Anyways,
if I'm out of Tomb Raider questions. I'm just excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. I'm excited for what people think of it. After reviews of season 1, I'm not as excited about what people think of it. But if you have questions about like how Tomb Raider came together, what it was like in the writer's room, what it was like to adapt a video game, any of those questions, we will answer them on the podcast because it's really interesting and it's really fun and it's a big part of our business. And the more games become popular as they are, the more this is a part of our business. So send in questions if you watch and have any.
Beautiful.
That's it. That's our episode. It was This Week in Writing, The Blacklist, and Tomb Raider. Go see it.
What's great episode. Well, we have to talk about this. You can't just come in hot with... We have to talk about these things that are being created. You developed IP. We had The Blacklist. It's the end of the year.
I know.
The podcast also has to represent the state of mind of everybody within the industry. We are entering hot chocolate. We're entering heavy drinks.
We're in hot chocolate.
We're in hot chocolate. We're in heavy drinks, eating, chilling. This is the break that you should be writing in. But anyway.
The next few episodes I'm really excited about, to be honest, as we ring out the new year, because they are about checking in with our goals. How did we do?
Mm-hmm.
Why did we fail if we fail? How did we succeed if we succeeded? And that's the fun stuff. We love that stuff. So hopefully you'll join us for that as well. And let's take us out with the quote of the day.
Yeah.
Wanting to be a writer and not wanting to be rejected is like wanting to be a boxer and not wanting to get punched. David Barr Kirtley. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Follow us at ActTwoWriters for more awesome writing stuff. You can follow me, Tasha, at Story Thursday on Instagram or on Twitter at Tasha 3.0.
I'm Joshua Hallman on Twitter, Josh Hallman on Instagram.
And as always, the Act 2 podcast is a production of Act 2, a network and support group for the everyday working screenwriter. This episode was edited by Paul Lundquist.